Hello, everyone, and welcome to Back to Light. This is a show where we talk about how future-proofs past, and we help you with different techniques and tools to help you get back to your sovereignty, your truth, your health, and your wealth. Back what the enemy stole.
Trump won, and you know it.
Natasha Owens, Nick Natoli, Trump won.
Trump won, and you know it. Trump won, and you know it. America has voted. It's true. Trump won, and you know it.
Yeah, we all know Trump won, baby, and we know Kamala crazy. Everybody knows that I'm a patriot like my name was Brady. Red hat, baby, it's a red wave. Democrats want Trump off stage, but we know that they can't aim, and he won in every state. Trump won, you know we know. Too big to rig this vote. Someone wake up Sleepy Joe, cause
Trump won, and you know it. Trump won, and you know it. America has voted, cause it's true. Trump won, and you know it.
you know you can't stop Trump. He's got a swamp to drain, so go ahead and grab your ticket. Let's ride that Trump train. He won in 2020, and he just did it again. Go and throw your hands up. Let's celebrate this win. It's time to get it started. Come on now, everybody. Everyone's invited to this We the People party.
And you know it. Trump won, and you know it.
Yeah, yeah.
America has voted, cause it's true. Trump won, and you know it.
Woo!
I know it, you know it, we know it, they know it. Everybody knows Trump won. I know it, you know it, we know it, they know it. Everybody knows Trump won.
Everybody knows.
I know it, you know it, we know it, they know it. Everybody knows Trump won.
Yo, 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 yo.
Trump won, and you know
You
it.
know it, you know it.
Trump won, and you know it. If there's a lie, you're gonna do it. It's true. Trump won, and you know it.
Let's go, let's go.
I know it, you know it, we know it,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
know it.
yeah.
Everybody knows
Trump won.
I know it, you know it, we know it, they know it. Everybody knows
Trump won.
I know it, you know it, we know it, they know it. Everybody knows
Trump won.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Back to Light. Today we have a turn of events. We have someone that actually wanted to interview me. I'm not really sure what her questions are going to be. So without further ado, let's bring the lovely Laura Lightworker to the stage and to the show. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you, Kat. It's wonderful to be with you. New York meets New South Wales.
That's right. That's right. We got
Yeah,
that love grid going all over.
all over. I am not going to pretend to have a New York accent. It will not work.
Unfortunately, mine's not pretend.
Thanks for doing this with me. I am so excited. We finally are here.
I know it feels like it's been an eternity, and this movement is just moving so fast but so slow. That's the best way to explain it, right? It's so fast but so slow.
But the molasses has warmed a little and it's flowing a little more swiftly than previously. So for that, I'm grateful.
I'm grateful as well. So what time is it there for you now?
It is 7:13 in the morning in your future.
Do we make it through the next day?
Yes, you'll be fine. Your Tuesday is going to be sunny and bright and lovely.
Awesome. Very happy.
Oh, dear. No, I'm really pleased that you did this, Kat. Thank you for having me on your platform. I can easily explain why I wanted to interview you, if you would care to know.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we met through being mods on Telegram for different channels, and I'm not on very many chat pages because I find them to be quite exhausting. I'll just be blunt. And it, you know, because of basically moderators. And I loved that whenever your chat page, I'm using your, you know, loosely, that whenever things started to get a little tense or a little toxic, shall we say, that in comes the Light Warrior and says, hey, y'all, how about you give us 3 things you're grateful for today? And I'm like, yes, that's it. You know, that, and I love the way that you didn't chastise or come down hard on people. You just flipped the script and turned it into something lovely. And everyone would come on board, and pretty soon the conversation would be cheery and uplifting. And it's not that you want to, you know, suppress anyone's speech, but we're here to lift each other, comfort and assist, right? And you're not going to be able to comfort and assist if you're bashing your brother or sister whom you've never even met, you know? And we know that texting is fraught with danger. And I was just really attracted to your energy and the way that you handle difficult situations. And then I saw more of your work, and the fact that in 2019, the word that came into me was wholeness. Send everyone your intentions for wholeness on every level. And you embody that, and you shine that desire out for wholeness for people, you know, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. And I just thought I wanted to hang out with you and introduce you to my crew who seek to live likewise, you know, from their heart and in service. So a long answer to a quick question, but I want people to know that you just really impact folks, and it's a real blessing to know you, Kat.
Oh, thank you. That, you know, just, I'm not usually speechless, so Ma, write this down.
Mark the calendar, y'all.
That warms my heart. It's just like, she said, I want to ask you a couple of things. And I said, well, can we practice? And she's like, nope. But all right. So you saw the raw response and emotion there. So thank you. I almost did cry. So thank you, because I feel like as a light worker, we are always shining our light. And we're always giving, 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 giving. And it's very rare that we ever get in return. Right. So that's why I'm very grateful that we found these communities where we can each help one another. So if you're depleted one day and come in and be like, I just need a boost of energy, we just all blast you. You know, it's just such a beautiful
That's exactly right.
Rather than, oh my God, I got to help another person and I don't have the energy to really help myself right now. You know, so I'm very grateful that you recognize that, because that's all I've ever been my whole life. Just didn't know that there was a name for it. It was just one of those things that I just always, it's just my being. It's just who I've always been. I've always wanted to help somebody who was less fortunate, or I would talk to the person that no one's talking to in school and then have everybody become friends with them. And it's just, you can't fake authenticity. You know, it just, you either have it or you don't. And I see all these people going through and calling themselves light workers, but yet they're not doing the do. They're just talking.
Right.
So I appreciate you for recognizing that, because I do have a subtle way of doing things, and it's on purpose, because I'm trying to get them to break their concentration and that thought pattern that they're in, so they can actually have a different energy that they're putting towards, if they're talking to someone, or if they're interacting, or if they're even talking to themselves, right? Because that's a lot of the work that I do, is a lot of self work.
Oh, yes.
So interrupting, and I would say this right off the bat, I would tell my clients, I said, listen, I am going to interrupt you, and I'm apologizing in advance, but I'm not interrupting you to be rude. I'm interrupting you to break that thought pattern. And they're like, thank you. Because we get into this weird spiral that we don't even know we're doing it sometimes.
I call it a maladaptive cycle. And you just described it as a spiral. And that's exactly what it is. It's like they get the trigger and then into the spiral they go of this old pattern of thinking. And the self-talk, as you said, is so important. But if we can get them to the place where before the trigger happens, they recognize that feeling coming up and they go, oh, I'm about to go spiraling into that again. And you interrupted, as you said. Is that?
So it's basically the interruption is what gets them to refocus and rebalance. And then I would say, okay, choose your words. Let's take some deep breaths. Let's rebalance. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to get out of? Because if you keep saying the same things, and this is part of what I teach my clients too, if you say the word always, doesn't it feel heavy? Doesn't it feel like, oh my God, I'm going to be here forever, right? But if you say until now, and this is just until now, like I always did this, or he always did that, or she always did this, and you say until now there's a different possibility. Now there's a different outcome. Now there's a different energy around that. And I deal with a lot of people that are holding people in energies that those people don't want to be in anymore, but because their loved one is holding them there. And that's what I feel is the most important thing with this whole movement of the awakening and the enlightenment. And I just think it's so cool because seeing how it was kind of hijacked. It was kind of hijacked, but for the good. And we were doing it and we were getting momentum. But now, since it's got on board with this other political side of it, I feel that it's just taken off. And now everybody's searching. So I'm grateful that people are catching up. That's how I feel. Like I just know that this is something that I've always been trying to help people with, teach people. And it just was always like, I'm too early. Okay, I got to just wait it out a little bit. Got to wait it out. Okay. And now I'm hearing people say, well, I don't know how to meditate and I don't know how to do this and I don't know how to do that. And I was like, oh, I'll show you. It's very simple. It's very simple. They made it convoluted. They made it scary. They made it all this weirdness,
Oh, yeah.
a certain way. You don't have to have candles burning. You don't have to chant, all these things I feel are the man-made constructs that keep us from finding our inner selves. And I had a friend and they were like, I can't do this. And I said, well, what brings you joy? Where are you where you're at your bliss and you're just you? And he was like sailing. And I said, you're meditating. And he goes, that's it? I go, that's it. Find that place. And he goes, I got it. Easy. For my boyfriend, it's construction. He's in the zone. You can't tell him nothing. He's just in it. Right. So that's what we have to start to teach people, like do what brings joy. Because whether you do it now or you do it years from now, you're going to do it. So you might as well do it now and have fun and enjoy your life rather than, I don't know. I just see so many broken adults with broken inner children, and it's just wanting to hug them and just tell them it's going to be okay. And we're at the right moment and at the right time. And I'm so grateful.
Well, that was one of my questions was, how does it feel for you knowing that you felt like you've always been ahead and that you just have to wait and wait and wait? How does it feel for you to see the energy catching up?
It's exhilarating because you know that it's not just you anymore or your little group or,
Yep.
And we were all fragmented. We were all over the world and we were trying to pull the world together. We've been doing it, but now it's like, now you have these core groups of people that are doing it together. And it's just, you can't stop what's coming. You just can't. It's like a freight train in a great way. Jump on the train and have a good time because we're having a good time.
We're having a ball.
We laugh, we joke, and I make light of things because we are going through some heavy things too, right? But we can't stay in that energy because that's what's going to keep us in this place of fear, in this place of lack, in this place of just scarcity. So just start to just have you laugh today. I just started doing that on Facebook a couple of years ago with the whole lockdown. I said I would ask everybody 2 questions. Did you laugh today? And did you take a break? A breathing break, when they had to wear the diapers. So I said, every time somebody goes outside and has a cigarette break, go out and take that off and go breathe. Yeah, just little things that we can do to help ourselves realize that we are sovereign. We are our own, being, and we can say no to things that don't feel right.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know how my American brothers and sisters have gone through this. I'm so grateful that I live in a tiny little village by the ocean, and and just didn't have to see so much of the masking and the I lost all my accounts and everything like everyone else, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just take my hat off to you. It must have been so heartbreaking.
If for me, it was because like I would try to go onto the beach and just meditate, and I was told no. I was like, I'm by myself. There's nobody
Yeah.
here. And what harm am I doing? So even for that, like that whole time for me was just eye-opening. And it's no surprise it was on 2020, right? We all got perfect clear vision. we could see what's going on, what's happening, what's not happening, where we want to focus. I found that a lot of families really honed into their structure and realized that work doesn't really matter too much, but I could
Yeah.
work from home, I could do this, and losing that daily commute helped them a lot. Like that's a lot of time out of your life just to be sitting in traffic, So I feel like it's just been an exhilarating ride, and I'm excited that we have a whole bunch of people with us, and we have a show to bring the light and to bring the solutions and to talk about the future and what we want. We know how we got here, right? So what are we going to do to get to the place where we see the new world? What does it look like? What would you be
Yeah.
doing if money was no object, if time was no object? What would you be doing? Start to do that. Start to do something that's like that, even if it's a hobby for now. Maybe you can't
Right.
your sole source of income, but at least do it so you're bringing joy back into the world, because we've lost that. We've lost joy. We lost laughter. We lost just fun. We just lost the way we used to be with one another, connection, community. It's just, I know it's coming back. I feel it. I see it.
Yeah.
I go out every once in a while. I don't enjoy it anymore.
Yeah. I
That's
don't either.
hard for me to say because I used to love going out and being around people, but now people's energies are all so wonky. I'm like, I don't want to be here. Like it just feels like so heavy and gross. But it used to be when you go out, you just talk to people next to you, you have a good time. Barely anybody talks to their neighbor anymore.
There's a kind of suspicion and an awkwardness, and people have forgotten that we're all the same. Really, we're all the same. We all seek the same things, to have happy families and to be well, and just to be at peace. And that's what I miss, is the joy and the peace that you would have because of the fragmentation. And I agree with you that we're finding each other. I mean, you're in New York and I'm in New South Wales. It doesn't matter because, as you said, the energy doesn't lie, and we're just like magnets for the people that we're meant to be doing this with, wherever they live.
Yeah. Our soul.
And exactly. Yeah. I think it's exciting. And I've always said that when we're wherever the other side of this is, that all that suffering is going to feel like a blink.
Yep.
Because of the great joy and just gloriousness that we're going to experience. And I know that you know that too.
That's what I've always said to people. I said, what if this is all just so we can have our awakening and we could all just grow? And at the end of it, it's going to be like, we already knew that it was going to be hard. We already knew it was going to be what it is, but we knew it was going to be like a blip, gone. It's going to be like nothing because it was just an exercise. It was just, I don't know what exactly it is, but this is not our life. This is not normal. The way we've been living and being a slave to time and being a slave to everything. Like we're just a slave to the dollar. And is just sad because it's monopoly money. It's
It,
it's just when you find that out, you kind of have to get, I don't know, not that you have to get pissed, but you kind of get pissed, right? You're kind of like, well, what am I doing?
absolutely. Absolutely.
It just doesn't make sense sometimes, And so
Something that is valueless has such a hold on us.
because somebody
And-
else told us it does. And then
Exactly.
we actually gave it that value.
We bought into the BS.
That's right. That's right. That's why I love talking about these topics, because it helps people to get back to the light, back to the truth. And that is what we've all been searching for our entire lives.
Absolutely. Yep. Well, you said that you didn't know what my questions were going to be, but you've covered several of them already. Yeah. So what are you doing now? Because I think we agree that sticking with the past is just sticky, yucky, gross energy, and the light and the love are in the present. That's where we want to be. So what are you doing with your Just Connect work? Have you explained, do people know about that? Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, thank you. So in 2020, when we were all in lockdown, everything was kind of like bonkers, and I'm an extrovert and I was going crazy and I had no place to put my energy. And so I just started to create. Every time I used to design stuff for myself, when I would be walking around outside, people are like, oh, where'd you get that from? I'm like, oh, I made it. They're like, where can I get it? I go, you can't. I don't sell them. I'm just making them for myself. They're like, you should make it. So with all this pent up energy and all this time, like God gave me time, right? Because I had all the time in the world to do whatever I needed to do, because all of my activities I was doing was taken in an instant. So I started to create, and I have two shirts that I have actually gone to print with. I have a lot of designs in my head, but I've just never gone to print with them too much. But I know I'm supposed to. So thank you for.
Oh,
I know this is what she's doing. Source was like, get her on the air, so she has to commit to doing what she's supposed to be doing, because
it's just a gentle goading, Kat. Just gentle.
I can't. So yeah. So one of them says align it, and it was my thing of like,
Ooh.
right? Instead of saying, like, I was so done with everything. And my other one that I made, it's in this beautiful galactic print, and it says keep your aura 6 feet away, because I was like, you are all toxic. And I was just joking, but it was kind of like a play on, like, I saw all that other garbage that was going on, and
Oh, yeah.
I was like, all right, well,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna try to make light of it.
Flip the script.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I actually wore it out one time, and some people were like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's a joke. It's a joke.
They can't joke.
They don't know how to joke anymore. So yeah, if anybody wants those, the align it, they're in like black and white opposite.
I love it.
And then the other one, I think it's in black. I have to see. I have to go through because it's been a long time. But it's also like the hot pink, So yeah, I just enjoy designing, and I had one that said "Go smudge yourself." Like, I have all these different sayings that I know people would love, but I just never got it out there. So thanks, Laura.
You need to do it, because those are messages that are arresting, right? People go, oh, but they land,
Yeah.
even with me.
Yeah.
So
I'll show them to you. I have all these designs that I created over the 2020.
off you go then.
I also created oracle cards way back when. This is like way back when. I was trying to look up how to get them printed, and nobody was doing it yet. This is how long ago that was. So now everybody's doing it. Like, oh, maybe I missed the boat. I'm like, nah. And then I was going to do them digitally. And then I was like, it's just every time my brain goes too fast, and there's too many things that it can go into, that it just needs stop and just focus for a moment. Because like these cards have gone from paper to like a plastic. So I would get my Cricut and I would actually cut the like a plastic mat, and I would cut the cards out of that. And
Wow.
I'll tell you. So this was for what it was like for children, right? To help them the basics. And I felt like it could be like a game for them. And like it's almost like, what do I need for the day? And you pull a card. It's very
Yep.
easy, very small, not like 40 and things like for adults and stuff like that. But it was just something I felt that I had to do. And I made them and they've been there. And they were just, again, another creation just sitting there, and you're calling me out on it. Thanks a lot on air. So now I
Well,
understand clearly why this is happening. So thank you for that.
that is what I got was, you need to showcase Kat. And I was like, well, I'm happy to do that. And I have a granddaughter who'd be very interested in those cards.
I just have to
Seriously.
figure out what I'm doing with them. Like, so, and then I also had like a black cardstock, and I was doing it with like milky neon pens, and I was just designing and creating all this movement and all that. And then I went into the Cricut again. It's just like I have all these different designs of them. They're all the same words, but but it's really easy stuff like water, go with the flow. How are you going
Yep.
with the flow today? Just friendships, and it's like, be careful, don't hold on to that hot rock. You want to let it go because you're holding on to anger. It's all these things, but I think it actually could help some adults too, because a lot of people are starting from where we started. And I forget that sometimes that yes, this is for kids, but it also could be for starters, just starting to get used to learning and listening to your inner being. So these are the tools that I've created.
So now you have a visual list of all the things that you are meant to address, Kat. You are very welcome.
Thank you so much.
So
The interview's over. Bye. No more. No more.
I'll be getting messages now going, why did you do this to me? I'm so busy now. I'm doing all this stuff and
they're
people are
done.
ordering things. And
They're done. That's the thing. It's done. It just has to go out. So there you go. But the other thing that I'm excited about is the mindfulness moment. And that's something I created a long, long time ago. And today was actually the first day that it went up. So, so there are no coincidences, And what I had done was, okay, how do we get people to go back to the basics? So I started to think about, how did they teach us to kind of like go back to like when we were children, what did we learn? How did we learn? So I don't know if you remember, but when we were in grade school, we learned Roy G. Biv. That's the color of the rainbow, the order of the rainbow. Did you learn that? Or is that just an American thing?
well, I went to school in America. We actually sang the colors of a rainbow. So that's interesting. Yeah, my learning thing is singing.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. But go on. Yeah.
I started to sit quiet, and I was like, okay, well, what am I going to do? So I'm like, wait, there's 7 days a week, there's 7 colors. Like, this is going to be perfect. And I said, well, I'm going to start red on Monday because that's our root and that's our foundation. That's our foundation of our week. Yeah. And then it goes all the way through, and then end on the most spiritual day, which is our crown chakra, right? So I had it very different, and it wasn't lining up, and it was very frustrating. And I heard, just sit with it. Just give it a minute. It's going to work. Just sit. And I had it where I was able to template this, and then I was just adding in the days, right? So it'd be like, today is Monday. We're going to focus on the root chakra, right? However, those weren't lining up enough. So I just kept a pause, and I was like, oh, I like that better. It's more subliminal. So I'm going to take that out. So if you're looking at the screen, it does say root chakra. And then I started to say, okay, well, I wanted to have a mindfulness word for each day. So you have gratitude, you have all these different words, and I'm not going to put them out there just yet because the project hasn't gone out yet, but I'll put them out as soon as it does. But today was gratitude, and it was the root chakra. But I'm not saying focus on your root chakra. I'm just saying just have a mindfulness moment. Take some
Yep.
breaths, ground yourself. And everybody was asking me, why did I pick 333? Well, one, we're taking our numbers back. We're taking our colors,
Absolutely.
taking our symbols back. We're taking it all back. The original reason why it was around 3:00. So when I used to work in corporate, this is how old this is. This is how old this practice is for me when I worked in corporate. Oh my gosh, that was eons ago. It was like 2 decades ago or something like that. It was crazy. I would get that 3:00 slump. You got to go to the candy machine, right? So I felt like this was a good alternative for people because at the time, what I was working on helping business people get into their spirituality, get into their balance. And I didn't want to call it, meditation or this or that. So it was like mindfulness moment. It was just trying to, and then
Yeah.
the company name at the time was Transformational Light Concepts because
Oh, wow.
businessy, right? That sounds corporate. So I would go in, talk to HR, and I said, "Can I talk to them?" And we would do breathing exercises. We do different things. So it's very cool.
Right.
I lost my train of thought. Oh, and then we also had it's funny because now everything is that, but we had a web-based show. It was called TLC, Transformational Light Concepts. And I would interview all different metaphysical and spiritual people in our neighborhood and just have them explain what they know, if they have any kind of books that they wanted to promote. And it was just a really beautiful experience. And then things happened. Life got in the way. I left the corporate world and I just started to reinvent myself. I feel like when you ask me, like you said, Kat, who are you? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how many times I've reinvented myself. You have to, though. You have to keep growing or you're going to die. So I move, I ebb, I flow. I just do what I got to do to get through to the next level. And I was talking to my girlfriend about this. I said, I feel like we're in a video game. This was years ago. I said, I feel like we're in a video game. And then I was sitting quiet with it and I go, oh no, we asked for this. We asked for the expert superior level. We asked for this whole experience. Like I said, next time I want it super easy. I want beach. I just want to be left alone. I think we've earned our dues, right? We paid our dues.
I wholly agree with you.
I just want to say, I'm just looking at you and you just look like such a goddess because the way the tree looks like it's coming out of your head, it just looks like a beautiful tree. Don't move.
That's our backdrop for our band.
I love it.
Yeah. We hope it makes people feel rooted and grounded and just happy. It's a happy tree.
Yes, it's a happy tree.
You're very sweet, Kat. Thank you.
That's what it looks like to me. I'm sitting here looking at you and I'm like, oh my God, she looks like this. Well, I'll show you. I'll take a picture. You'll see. You can do it. You'll see. So I hope I answered your question. I've been babbling.
No, it's great. You don't get to babble.
Very
good. Your opportunity to babble.
And just helping people just brings me joy.
Well, let's backtrack a little bit because when I was thinking about this morning, when I was doing my morning things, it came into me. I know this has probably happened to you as well. No light worker would ever say a thing like that. You can't be a light worker and talk like that.
Yeah.
And I'm going, do people know what light workers do?
No.
And they don't. They think that and I'm not stereotyping what people think or anything like that. But
most people,
a lot of people assume that we are meant to ride in on our unicorn.
No, goddess,
and trailing colorful ribbons behind us, blowing bubbles and scattering glitter and singing beautiful happy songs, and that it's all meant to be just this beautiful buoyancy. But
work.
Light workers are ass kickers. Yeah. So how would you like to discuss that for just a minute to sort of give a bit of perspective on what a light worker actually really does?
Because I could just see, you know, I used to play this thing on Facebook, and it says somebody called me delusional, almost fell off my unicorn, you know. So yes, we do have those moments, right? We can get into that love and light, but most of it is we got to kick this thing's ass right out of here and never allow it to come. And we're going to show you how you can kick it out and never allow it to come back. So for me, I feel it's a lot, as I've grown through it, I learn, and I feel that it's more shadow work than anything. It's sitting in your muck and feeling it, allowing yourself to grow from it, and then shining the light for others so they can find the way out like you did.
Yep.
That's just basically how I see it. Other people may have other ideas, but for me, that's what it is. Going through your own darkness so you can help people get out of theirs.
Yeah.
With rainbow
Beautiful.
Sparkles and
of course
sprinkles.
But it is important for folks to understand that it's spiritual warfare. Yes. And we were born, excuse me, we were born doing it. Yes. We didn't learn, we didn't go to we were just born doing it. And you kind of, that's how I would explain. I was born doing this, being this. And I recognize that about you as well. And I just appreciate it.
Has it? It's just they have to remember. So it's not like you or I or anything.
Exactly.
And that's the whole thing that I hate about the whole commercialization of this.
It's become an industry.
It's disgusting. You don't have to buy certain pants, certain shoes, certain anything. You just have to be in your moment and be in your healing and your growth and your awakening. But yeah, that's the part that gets me upset, I guess. So like how you're saying how I felt with everything catching up. That's the dark side of it. And then it's just all these people trying to capitalize on other people's fears and unknowing, I guess. But we're here to show you how to remember how to shine your own light. Don't use my light. It exhausts you. Let me show you how to use your own light.
It is, isn't it? So
go ahead.
No, go on.
No, so I was just looking at our names and I'm seeing them and I just love it because they're both like Light Warrior, and the whole thing was the Patriot side came upon my name after J6. Like I was always a Light Warrior. And then when the war came to my door, more so not like the spiritual side, but the other side, that's when it was like, it's go time. And then they awoke the giant that they probably shouldn't have messed with because it's been go time ever since. I want to tell you something I think you'll appreciate. And I don't really tell a lot of people this. So the day I was getting ready to leave, I went all the way to DC by myself in a new uppity. I just went, got on a bus, went, and I trusted. Now, the day before I went, I looked on the wall. I don't know if you have this too, but I always have these little light beings that come and visit me and delight me. But what I saw was this giant warrior, just this giant warrior on the wall. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be protected, right? I go back and I look through some of my pictures and you can see this little white ball in front of me in my pictures. So I knew I was protected. And
fabulous.
I went and I was getting screamed at. Why are you a light worker and you're in DC? And I said, because I'm going to share the light.
Exactly.
Where the place needs it most.
The same thing when we went to Canberra. We went to Canberra week after week after week. And that's when I became, because I've always been politically active, but with Ricardo Bosi, the spiritual and the political all, came into, and it was like, oh, I'm tailor-made for this. This is my passion. I love the light working, and I love the political activism, and it's amazing how we've both just
Same path.
in our respective countries come into the patriot side of it with bringing the spiritual, because we need it.
Yes. And
We've got to bring light to our all the people.
we have to
So
share,
so what was it like for you there?
So, okay, we know that all of that was a lie, right?
Right. Of course.
I have some video and some. There was no Wi-Fi. There was nothing. So anything I had was on my phone. Now, I don't have a lot of things because after I got onto like the like a geofencing, once I got past a certain point, all of that stuff was taken out of my phone. Believe me or not, I know it happened. I even sent it.
I believe you.
I even sent it to my friend, and she was like, it's not on my phone either. So I was like, oh, okay. So I put that on not a Telegram, on Instagram, and said, look, this is my friend's thing that I sent, and theirs is even gone. So I actually wrote to Don Jr. and I said, when do I get my stuff back? This was around then, like around that, like years ago. And I said, I have some footage you might be interested in. So I guess they must have just taken it. I don't know who has it, but I want my stuff back. It was all my history. I interviewed veterans. I was doing boots on the ground, and I lost it all because I was in that, that spot. But being over by that monument, I used to look up to that, and I used to have like so much. It's very different when I was a kid, right? So we were brought there as Girl Scouts, and we were supposed to respect that and this and that. When I got there, I knew it's a beacon, right? It's probably not meant for good. So it was like a really, really cold, crappy day. And I was just sending light up. And by the time I was done, the sky cleared and you could see a rainbow. Now, beforehand, you could see it. It literally looks like a creature was holding the monument. I'll send it to you. It's just things you don't notice when you're just taking pictures. I was taking a picture.
Yeah.
Like my other picture the other day with the sun. It's like, take a picture.
Yeah, it's when you review it.
And I took a picture. I had no idea I couldn't see it until I got home. So with that, it was like being there was the most beautiful experience. All I felt was love. I felt confusion. I felt connection. I did not feel like anger and like we're gonna, bombard any. Like I didn't feel any of that where we were. Nowhere, honestly. Not even when we were up there. People were telling us to move up, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. So there were actually agitators moving people up to put them in trouble,
trying to herd you.
Yeah. The closest I got when we got tear gas thrown at us, and I just said to my girls, I said, I think it's time we go. I don't think this is going to be, I don't think we could do any more here. And when we were leaving, there was this big group that came by with a giant American flag, and they got up to the top of the Capitol so quickly. And I'm like, how'd they get up there so fast? Like, it's like the seas parted for them because it was a flag, but there were a lot of people under there. And I don't know what their intentions were or who they were. But like I said, I was interviewing veterans. I was having a great time until that. My other thing is they told us that I think it was 2:00. I think my timeline might be off, but I kept telling everybody, what's the timestamp? What's the time? This is before I got into Q and everything. like what's the timestamp? I just always looked at time. And and the other thing is they played Gloria, Gloria, like that song. Gloria. Yeah. They played that 3 times. So
really?
Yes. And I'm like, why are they playing this again? So that always stuck out to me. And then the other day, someone was on a podcast and they mentioned it. So I actually have to go back and watch that and see what he was talking about. But sorry, that day was just crazy. Like the whole thing, everything. I just think about everything. So they told us that we shouldn't be going anywhere unless we have at least 4 people with us. Don't go anywhere. We had security. We had 10 buses with us. Like we were protected. We were okay. But don't go anywhere. And if you're going to go away from the group, just So there was a girl, she had to go to the bathroom, and I felt bad because there weren't enough of them. So I don't know these people, but I wound up going with them. And I'm grateful that I did, because the other group that I was with got pushed into the Capitol. So tell me,
Oh,
I was protected. It's like, thank God she had to go to the bathroom.
hey,
It was,
Creator will use anything to keep
and we're
us.
friends to this day. And they're wonderful patriots. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, I just met so many
How amazing.
people. Yeah. A lot of people I met on the bus, I'm still friends with to this day. So
That
that
is
day was
amazing.
just, and I put it on Facebook too. I said, this day was beautiful and they turned it into crap. And it's really sad that you guys are all falling for this.
Yeah. It was so obvious.
Oh, yeah.
It was so obvious.
Oh, my thought. They told us about 2:00 somebody was shot.
Yeah.
I got an alert on my phone that
Yeah.
said, you're allowed to stay on the premises until 6:00. I don't know. I'm not in law enforcement or anything, but like, are you allowed to stay in a crime scene? Like, I just don't get it. I'm like, what do you mean we can stay
Yeah.
till 6? So we just decided to go. Our bus was leaving at 3:30, something like that. And I just looked at them and I said, let's just go. We just packed up our stuff and we wound up leaving. That was the first insurrection, right? That everybody was, we all had snacks, backpacks, and babies. Like, what are we going to do? Nobody had a weapon.
Unbelievable. That's interesting for me. That day is when the blocking and the hate toward me started, because I called it out. I said, there's no way that woman was shot and killed. This is a false flag. And I mean, people were just like, you heartless. And I'm like, can't you see? It's obvious. Like, what are you doing?
Have you
You
ever,
all are smarter than this. I've known you my whole life. What's going on? And yeah, and they're still gone. They're still gone.
have you ever seen my video I did after?
No.
Like, oh, I did a show with Mark and I have it on there. I'll send you that link. And anybody that wants,
Oh, yeah, please do. Yeah, great.
I had to edit it a little bit because it was just raw emotion of me just
Oh, of course.
like light workers aren't supposed to. And I'm like, F you. I was just like losing.
Oh, I know. I know.
I was like, get off my wall. My aunts called my mom. They're like, what's wrong with her?
Yeah.
She lost it because I was pushed to the point. Like, you don't ever say hello to me. You don't even ask me my side. You're just going to bash me.
It was
It was,
absolutely.
and that's where
Yeah.
the warrior patriot went.
Oh, yeah.
Keep it in line. Keep it in line. But that's going a little bit back to what you had asked. Like, the people think we're all sunshine and rainbows. Well, you push.
It's like my son said to me, if you don't want to be targeted, why don't you change your speech, Mom? And I said,
Nope.
Have you forgotten who you're speaking to? And he went, yeah, never mind. I was like, when have I ever reined it in when truth needs to be spoken? When have I ever done that, Peter? And yeah, I'm sorry I embarrassed you kids, but the truth is got to come out, and
Exactly.
I'm not gonna hold back. I can't. It's not authentically who I am, and you're the same. And if you're dropping an F-bomb, and if you're offended by an F-bomb, I mean,
You should be more offended by what's going on than that. But
right, words only carry the power that you attribute to them. How about we get to the issue here? The F-bomb is
Right.
bloody well warranted in this case, right? So, yeah.
The other day we went out and I was talking with this gentleman and he was talking how he's involved in a program here. I don't want to name names and things like that because I don't want to get in trouble, but he was saying that he deals with like the worst of the worst and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God. He goes, do you know that there are people that are, selling their children and this and that? I'm like, ooh. I got one. I got somebody that I can have a conversation with so I can bring the light to this whole bar right now. I got louder and I got more like, what do you
Are
think?
you all listening?
Do any of that. I just got louder. And then the focus was on the two of us. And it definitely opened up a lot of people's minds that day. And when the truth needs to be spoken, it's our duty to do that. Keeping ourselves quiet is what got us into this mess. And every time one of us stood up, we'd get bonked on the head. So then they go sit down. But if all of us stand up together, there's no way they can harm us all. And I don't
We're
really.
the legs of the table.
That's right.
We're the legs.
That's right.
Flip it. Just stand up, everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
See that meme? It says, their game is over if we all just stand up, and the board
Yeah.
backs. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Good on you, Kat.
I don't know if I answered any of your questions right, but that's what I was.
Oh, we're just having a chat.
Just having some
Just
tea.
having a little chat. Yes, we should have had tea and scones.
You should.
Well, when we realized that we were actually had a date and we were going to actually really do this and not just talk about it, we sent out an invitation for folks to offer questions, because we both like doing workshop-y kind of things, don't we? It's not just talking about these issues, but actually helping people to do them themselves. We can't heal anyone. It's your faith that heals you. We can assist you, but you're the one who has to do the work, right? So are you happy to take some of these questions and address them?
Sure.
Yeah? Well, that's what we're here for, right? Is to help. So
I don't know. I'll find out.
So there's a thing about asking for protection where it can come from a place of fear and lack, because folks aren't fully embodying their power as a light worker, which they just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
And they can ask for protection out of fear. How would you say to someone, oh, well, before I leave my house, what should I do to protect myself, as I go off into the matrixy clown world? But you want them to be anchored in confidence and light rather than lack.
Well, what I used to
you know where I'm coming from?
What I used to just do is just put a protection bubble over me.
Yep.
Something, again, I didn't learn this. I just knew it. And I would just take my tongue and push it to the roof of my mouth. Apparently that's something in yoga. I'm not into yoga, so I don't do these things because I've learned it. I just always did it. It was like my force field, and I would just put it on, I'm protected, But then as I got more involved, I want to read something that Bishop Jim shared with me. Before the courts of heaven, we invoke the law of encroachment. We call upon the holy angels to remove these evil creatures, all spells, all curses, including generational curses stored in our DNA, all hexes, all evil devices, all parasites, all uneasiness, all heaviness, all energies and frequencies that are not for our highest good, all remote viewing attachments, all implants and portals, whether knowingly or unknowingly, all thought forms, all dark or demonic energies and their defragmentations, all dark entities and attachments from this or any dimension and timeline, and to break all evil operations over us and our loved ones. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
That is fabulous.
So that's something I say now. Mostly, like with almost all my interactions, like I even say it to some of my friends. I said, well, why don't we just protect one another and say this prayer before we do our interactions, because we never know what's going on in each other's lives, and you pick up different energies as you're going throughout the day, and it just helps one another. That is the prayer that I got from Bishop Jim, and I've tweaked it and I've added things, and it's customizable to you. So this was more for what I was going through with my dad, and also dealing with the chat and the low energies and the fear and the scarcity and all that weird stuff. So again, you can change it to whatever you want it to be. And that's
Yeah.
what I love about this work. It's just all about intent and the power of our words.
That's it. The spoken word. Yeah.
So
That's pretty all encompassing, Kat. That's brilliant.
and it like so I know that I saw one of the questions that somebody was asking, right, about yoga, right? I'm not a
Yeah.
yoga person. I kind of went over that last time. I tried to do it. I get very dizzy from the up down motions. I even tried to do chair yoga and stuff. It's not for me. I'm not saying it's not a
Yeah.
bad thing, but again, it's the intent. If you're doing something and it feels good for you and it feels in alignment, then it's for you. If it's not, then don't do it. So you can't ask others if this is right or not for me. Only you know.
Yeah. Everything is prescriptive for you.
Mhm.
That, if that doesn't work for you, then that doesn't mean it doesn't work. It just doesn't work for you.
I got so dizzy. It was after my accident. I was trying to, get back
Right.
to my exercises and my things. I can't do certain things
I
because
can't either.
time.
Yeah.
Now I probably can, but I don't go back into it because I don't want to make myself dizzy. Like
Yeah.
I do other things. You could do breathing. That's easy.
Yes. Yeah.
Stretching.
Yeah. So it's almost like if you're asking the question, it probably isn't for you because
Right. Because if
you've kind of already made up your mind, haven't you? That
Right.
it's not for you.
and looking for
Yeah.
other people's validation outside of yourself never serves.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
if you sit with it and you're like, you know what, go to a class, see if it works, see if it feels right.
Yep.
To you. If it doesn't feel right, if it feels out of alignment, then maybe that's not the tool for you. There are plenty
Yep.
of things out there that you can do nowadays that are
Yeah.
holistic, healing, spiritual. There's so many things. There's a lot of choices.
And in the spiritual industry that has been, co-opted, as we discussed, there can be this spiritual peer pressure and sort of, you're not one of the in kids if you're not doing this, or
You're not wearing
and like you said, what is meditative for you is not going to be meditative for me.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
I have some really great meditations, and people are like me, and they want to hear them. I'll send them to them. They have curses in them, but what I was actually talking with somebody about this the other day, with the whole thing when Trump curses or someone curses. It's kind of like, oh, it's that breaking that pattern. It's breaking that energy.
Yeah.
So I laugh when I hear these meditations because they're not normal. Like, again, they think that
Yeah.
we're like butterflies and rainbows, and it's like it's the I am statements, and then also a meditation, and the meditation is literally called that. It's kind of like my shirt. So I don't know. I'm trying to be discreet here for in case people have kids listening, but again, it's just words and intentions. But
That's it.
meditation is hysterical, but it's a good way to branch people into learning to sit quiet with that for a little bit and
Yeah.
laugh. And that's the whole thing. It's breaking yourself out of that state that you're in to bring you into a higher consciousness, a higher state, a better elevation, if you will. So I feel that those kind of meditations for people that are just starting out and don't like this, I don't like this crap, try it.
Yeah.
It might be what you need,
That's it.
I have a book that says, let that shit go, like this is,
Absolutely.
it's just what works for you. Like if you're going to not do the sitting quiet and in silence, then find something that works for you. There's guided meditations. There's just music. You could just listen to an air conditioner. You could listen to the birds. You could listen to the bees. You could just whatever you want. There's no wrong.
Sit with your pet in the sunshine on the grass. Crank up the music and dance around your kitchen and bake a pie.
That's right.
It's different. Baking for me is I love to do that. That's a thing for me. A lot of people, if you said you find baking, they just think you were bonkers, right? Well, that's fine.
See, everything is different for everybody.
That's it. It's just allow. You want to be allowed to do your thing. Just allow others to find what makes them groove, right?
That freak flag.
Yeah. I've started painting again. I used to paint when I was a little kid, and it's frustrating, and if I'm trying to be perfect, but if I'm just focused on the color and putting the color on it's delightful. It's delightful. No one's ever going to see it. It doesn't matter. It puts me in this beautiful, blissful state, and I've got a big old grin on my face the whole time.
You're doing it. I love it.
Yeah.
So what are some of the questions that people are asking?
Oh, yes. So I think you were alluding to the question that we viewed about entity attachment and removal, particularly in children. Someone has noticed that there is a child in their life who changes, their eyes change, their personality changes, they become quite aggressive and violent, even with pets, which is not normal for this child, whenever their father is around. And that
law of encroachment.
That's a tragic, yeah. Yeah.
Would also do that around the area of the door. So when they're coming in,
Yep.
got to stay out there, and I'll pick that up later. Then you get to a place where you don't want to pick it up anymore. But for a child, it's probably scary. So I would have a conversation with them a little bit and say, how do you feel? And just start asking them questions and start getting to the root of it, because something is triggering that poor child.
Absolutely.
If they want to message me, I can try to see if we can tap in and see if there's, something. I don't mind doing that.
Great. Thank you.
Just everybody,
Well, that's right. And sometimes it can be a bloodline issue, can't it? And that needs to be cleared.
Exactly. And it's especially if they're going to be the one that's going to shine the light the brightest. They usually get.
That's right. And that's exactly this child's role. I've met this child, and they are the family's teacher. They're the light bringer to the family.
So let's do this. Close our eyes. Let's take a deep breath.
Yep.
Let's imagine let's put our protection around us.
Yeah.
Let's imagine this beautiful golden ring just wrapping around this child, just protecting. Thank you. I'll do more, but I have to have permission. But at least sending love and light to people, that's always okay. But I just didn't want to tap in and see if there's anything attached or this or that. But I can, but I just didn't want to do that without somebody's permission. That's one of the things too that a lot of people are doing. They're doing things without people's permission. I'm like, did you?
Well, that was another thing that I wanted us to discuss is about the permission.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So the work that I do, and I know people but again, people are catching on and catching up, so it's not so weird.
Yes.
But what I basically do is I tap into your subconscious, and I'm talking to my subconscious is talking to your subconscious, and
right.
I don't hear or it's hard to explain because it's not like an auditory thing and it's not a visual thing for me. It comes in a vibration, and then I have to translate it, but it happens in an instant. So it's just a weird thing. But I could go through and I can see if there's any trapped emotions. Is there any kind of trapped trauma? Is there any, generational things in there? That's why with the encroachment prayer, I can say that over you, but if you don't want that cleared,
that's it.
That
we have to do it ourselves. We can, as we said. Yeah, we're just assistants.
Yeah. So we can, and you can take that prayer and you can make it shorter for that child's needs. And in the dark and demonic and dimensions and all that, I would keep in, because you don't know where it's coming from just yet, right? So
Right.
you don't want to scare the child either. So just we can come up with a new way. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll come up with a new way to do the prayer for a child, because
Yeah,
this is a spiritual warfare, and a lot of people
that's it.
forget that. They're so fixated on the geopolitical side that it's kind of like we're almost at a crossroads again, where it's like we all have to come together. Like everybody has to come together on this and know that this is a spiritual war. We're
Yeah.
not just talking at our butts, like we need help. And I would just be screaming that on Facebook. I'm like, we need help. I'm so tired. Please. But now it's like,
And the children are so receptive. They know that they're still, Wordsworth wrote about the child being so close still to the creator, and how when we reach the end of our lives we become more childlike because we're, that veil is thin again. And I know with my granddaughter, she's into it. She loves the commands, and she loves to know that she can, do something for others, that she can send them love and light. And, these children,
that's the beauty of it, right?
these children are just incredible, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, one of the
Oh,
things that we also do in the group is the love grid. So that might be more
yes.
geared toward the children, because
Yeah.
love conquers it all, right? So
Yes.
just teaching them to put love around themselves and their friends and their family, and just have that love grid. And
Exactly.
they're going to connect with other energies that are doing that at the same time. And then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's a couple of meditations that we did when I opened up the chat after we had like heavy shows, that if you want
Yes.
to look at those and maybe share them with them, that some of that might
Yes.
help. And then I have the inner child
Absolutely.
for the adults.
Yes. Your inner child one's lovely.
Makes me cry still.
I know.
Do you
No,
want
that?
to know what that one was about? Going back
Yeah,
to,
go on.
so I'm not an artist per se. Like I don't draw, I don't do any of that. And I was talking about, remember the shows I was talking about? So someone
Yes.
happened to not come into work that day, and I was behind the camera recording just to help out instead of being on, in the show. And one of the shows came on, and it was a beautiful organization for breast cancer awareness. And I just felt like, I just felt this overwhelming feeling to talk to these women about an idea. I'm like, I didn't have this idea in my head forever. It just popped in, and I'm like, are you open to this? And what I had wanted to do is I wanted to do the healing the inner child meditation, but I also wanted to add art therapy to that. Now, I'm not an artist. I've never drawn, nothing. Right at that time, everybody's asking me to go do the, the sip and what is it? All the art stuff where you go have wine or beer or something like.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
I forget what they're called. I was invited to so many, and I'm like, no, I have to have this be authentic because I have something I'm doing. So I felt like that was a big test for me too, to see if I would stand in my truth and if I would have had to change my speech, whatever. But it wasn't. I wanted it to be like, so in my speech, I said, look, I've never done this before. This is my first time actually drawing with you. And they were all like, well, what should I do? And what should I this? And then I'm like, look, we come into this world like this, like a blank canvas. And they were all looking at their canvas. And I said, everything that is in your life is somebody told you it. You believed it because it's been put upon you. These aren't your thoughts. These aren't your feelings. So they would ask me, can I make a blue duck? I'm like, you can make any color duck. Like, but it was just so cute as women getting back into their child. Like,
exactly.
That's basically what my seminar was about. It was about, we come into this world, a blank canvas, and we have to be careful what we allow people to draw on us, because days and by the time we're 5, we're programmed. And it was just such a beautiful evening that we had, and all the women were just joking and laughing and look at this and look what I created. And some of the art was beautiful and some of it was silly, and it was just, all of it was beautiful, but it was just, it just took me back to that time when you're talking about art. But I still have it. I'll have to take a picture and I'll send it to you. It's something.
Oh, do.
Mm-hmm. It's something that I drew, and it's like a sun, and it's by my laundry area, and it brings me joy every time I look at it because I'm like, I know what that day was. It wasn't just about this art. It was the day that meditation helped all these women. That was the inner child meditation. And that was before all this stuff, So like that was just recorded. I don't even know how I recorded that, honestly, because we didn't even really have too many cell phones didn't really record yet. I think I might have recorded it from Google, like Google Hangout
Wow.
thing. Yeah. It's just funny. But yeah. So that's just a little bit about how I grew into all of this, I guess.
It's gorgeous, Kat.
Thank you.
So, what else have we got here? We've covered a lot with that encroachment prayer, That can be, as I said, so prescriptive and tailored,
Covers everything.
So when we're talking about, let's go back to the permission thing, like I feel the spirit will always say yes to healing, but there's still that.
It's a fine line.
You don't want to prey on people. Like, I know there are a lot of people who would absolutely love to pray about the way that I live and their ideas of the way that I live are completely inappropriate, and that, they might feel that they need to pray for me because I'm whatever in their view, right? What they deem appropriate for me. That's really none of their business.
Right.
Right. And who do we think we are? And I'm not, this is a general thing. I'm not picking on anyone, but who do we think we are to pray for anything?
When I was talking with Bishop about this, I said,
Okay.
I sent people love. They got sick. I said, I feel bad about it, but all I did was send them love. I wasn't sending them any negativity.
Yeah.
And he said, all you sent was love. I said, I was just a little karma and this and that. I want to make people relive their, and that's the other thing too. Forcing somebody to go on your journey, you take away their journey, and then they have to repeat it, and it's 10 times worse because they didn't get to learn the lesson.
You are getting in the way of somebody's lessons, and that's none of your business. Yeah.
So sending people love, that's what he said. He said, as long as it was just pure intention, I said, yep, it was just love. And I just wanted them to, like you said, have their highest, best life and just find the light if that's what they chose. And maybe we're praying for them to heal in this certain way. And, God had a different plan. And it's like, well, everybody wants this. So now you're getting like almost like the lower end of what God could have done for you. Like, let people be and just send them love and send them healing to what's their highest best. And then that's the best way to do it, because then you're not harming them. You're not harming yourself. You're not harming the collective.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's important, especially the way that this awakening has been hijacked.
That's right.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah, we've been talking about it forever, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, it's the Great Awakening. I'm like, where y'all been? I'm like, okay, we'll go with that. I mean, and then the other side tried to say everything's woke. And I was like, no, we're not going to go.
Oh, no. Yeah. So in line with all of that, so you get, like, I get movies and words so we work differently, which is so complimentary. I love that. How can, I know that we use our bodies for our answers when we're asking Source for assistance. How do you convey to folks how they may tune into their own bodies to get even a yes or no? Like, just very basically, should I go to this party? Should I do this interview? Is this food?
You watching me?
Right? Well, that's what I do.
to start, well, that's stuff that we could work on with the workshops, because again, every
Right.
yes and no is different. Everybody's starting point.
Everyone's
So
exactly.
something we'd have to go over in the workshop. But what you can do is you can use a tool. Now, again, remember how I was talking about the corporate world with transformational light concepts? I didn't want to scare people. And what does pendulum have, right? It has a very negative
Oh,
connotation, right? So I would just call it an energy master. You're mastering energy. So
right.
I think that that was a good way to introduce it to the children too, right? So I would literally just grab paper clips, and people that know me know this. I would just put them together and move the energy through. Again,
Yeah.
what's your yes, what's your no, put your protection around you so you're getting only your own divine answers and not, a
Yep.
joker's or whatever. But those are things that we can work on in the workshop.
Right.
Yeah, because to do that right here, someone might do it and then their yes might be, I just don't want to,
Yep.
because it's
No, that's great.
and there's things, but we can
But we want people to know that this is possible for them, and they don't need to look to anyone else
that's where
for
you,
their answers.
That's-
That they have everything they need within them. Their connection to the divine is just as strong and just as valid as anyone else's.
tune in.
Yeah.
We just tuned in a little earlier. That's all.
Yeah.
But everybody has the same abilities, and everybody's is different too. Like mine, I don't even know what it is, because mine's vibration. I guess I hear, feel vibration, and then I translate it. Yours is pictures and things like that. Somebody else's maybe, automatic writing. Everybody has something. That's why I love about this collective, because everybody has a piece of the picture, right? The piece.
Yeah. A lot of people are auditory. They literally hear,
Yeah.
the actual sound of someone's voice, Yeah.
So we'll definitely dive into that. I think that will be a really good exercise. We could do that in the Back to Light group, because there's enough of us in there that can help, and there's other light workers in there too that want to assist. And the Back to Light, I do like calls and stuff. Do the love grid, and we'd go through, and I'd be like, okay, somebody's energy is wonky. We're like,
Yep.
I didn't have to say who it was. That person
No.
themselves. It was beautiful.
Self-correction. That's it.
Yes, it's me. And then everybody at that time was trying to make sure that they were clear, because I want to make sure before we put energy out that it's clear.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited to do the workshops and teaching people what we know, and
Yeah. It's going to be great.
not really teaching you, just having you remember.
Helping you remember.
Right.
Yeah.
Remember. Maybe that's
And
what
that's another thing.
helping
is-
you remember. That's what the workshops will be called, because we're not teaching you. You already know.
No.
Yeah.
That you don't need us. You can just do it. Just ask. It's so simple. To go back to light. It's so simple.
We're still moving. We're still going. We're on our own journey,
I know.
The answers. I never, ever said
No,
and every day I learn something new, pretty much.
absolutely. Every day.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, to be open for that. Like, what have you got for me today? That
Wait.
curiosity and the wonder.
Good way. Not what do you got for me today? That's for my highest best. Because
No, I know. Yeah. Absolutely, for my
I know
highest
you know.
best, always.
But sometimes people hear things and then they, bring in the weird.
I was assuming that everyone would be in their light bubble when they did that. Yes.
And that's part of our learning too, right? We have to remember everybody's not at the same stage as we are. So we have to remember, go back to the basics, because we're just doing our work. And, I had
bubble first.
Yep. I had somebody I was talking with the other day, and I always said a bubble. And I'm like, I thought that was pretty cool until what he told me. And I was like, I think we're going to use this for the workshops, because I could see this like being so much more impactful in just the visual of it. He said, imagine you're pouring like a pearl white light over you instead of just a bubble, like pouring it. So it's intentional. You're doing it. And I just was like, that's it. That's what we're doing. So
I love that.
we go through, we learn, we pick up different things.
Actually, you can actually feel that.
We could
It's
feel
like
it.
a balm, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's lovely.
You used to crack the egg on your head and just pretend like it feels like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a lovely anointing, isn't it?
Mhm. And it's self-love. It's not coming from myself or Laura. It's you doing it for yourself, protecting yourself, giving yourself that love. It's beautiful.
And it's out of that you're worthy and deserving, and you lack nothing. You know, it's not out of scarcity. It's out of, you know, abundance. We're meant to be experiencing abundance emotionally, spiritually, in every way. That's our inheritance, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, the whole lack thing is man-made.
Yeah.
So once we can
We
get,
didn't come in with that.
no,
That's another one of those templates.
that's right.
Yeah.
We actually talked about this on the last show. We're like, birds don't pay to be here, the bees, the cats, the snakes, nothing. And then he's like, yeah, we pay them, right? We pay to feed them. And I'm like, that's right. Like we're just overly paying to be here where we don't need to.
Unbelievable.
So yeah, we have to get back to the truth and the light and community and connection and bartering and figuring stuff out, how to help one another.
Yeah. And the point that you made is so right, that not everyone gets up in the morning and the first thing that they do is, is have their spiritual, call in your spirit, but not everyone does that. And you're right. We've got to mention that. What is the first thing that you do when you open your eyes?
Teaching people their gratitude. That's key.
So big.
I would say, before your head hits the pillow, your feet hit the floor, write down 10 things you're grateful for.
That's fabulous. Yeah.
And someone's like, I don't know, I have nothing to be grateful for. I'm like, then you better get to go and get to work. I was like, I was like at a time where I was doing a lot of coaching online because we're doing the lockdown. I go, how about a stranger is talking to you 1 o'clock in the morning trying to help you? Are you grateful for that? Like I was getting
there. No kidding. How desperate are you?
I'll tell you,
Right?
like light workers, yes, we can get feisty. You won't even know it. But she was like, oh yeah. It's like, how about that you're breathing? How about, that you're able to see? Like, and that's the whole thing. Gratitude.
You've got a device that connects you with anyone in the world.
Start, go look at the sun, go look at the breeze, go look at your whatever. But that when people tell me they have nothing to be grateful for, oh boy, I know my work's cut out for me. This was during I think a lot of people were in fear, like people were just in freak mode.
So Kat, if folks want to have an appointment with you to do some energy work, just any advice at all, that coaching, anything like that, or even to buy a t-shirt,
Oh, yeah.
how can they how can they get a hold of you in the most direct way? I'm still poking that entrepreneurial bear, aren't I?
Oh, yeah. They could reach me by email. I think that's the best, being that this is worldwide, right? So it's back and then the number 2 and then light at proton.me. M-E.
Very good.
And I'll also have it in the description as well if anybody wants to.
I'm going to say, great. Yeah. Thank you for that.
I am so excited that we did this, and I was really not sure what to expect. That this is beautiful. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I just know that
you had to come here to call me out.
Yeah, there's so much more to you and to all of us than we see on a Telegram chat or whatever. And as I said, I was so attracted to your beautiful energy, and I know you have so much to offer, and that there's a need, and that you are that your heart is for folks to feel empowered and, the master of their energy. Right. And to know that they are wholly connected to the divine always, and that everything that we require is within us now. It's just a matter of tapping in.
Tappy tap.
So happy tappers.
Tappy tap. Happy Gilmore. Tappy tappy tappy.
See, I don't know any of that stuff. That's
Like,
yeah.
That's so
I'm devoid of pop culture.
I'll have to send it to you. I know that you also have a Telegram page. So do you want to tell people how to get in touch with your page?
It's called I'm Already Enough. And yeah, it's just a little happy group where folks can find an oasis away from news and intel. And, you know, we just have, it's just a spiritual page. It's not for news or intel or anything like that. It's pretty open for folks to post whatever is uplifting and encouraging, and it'll help people remember.
Beautiful.
Well, thanks so much, Laura, for sharing that. And if anybody wants to find us, we're on _4408 on Telegram. And Laura and I got carried away and we started to just talk about the workshops, and we totally didn't say goodbye to you guys. So I apologize. So thank you again, Laura, for coming and sharing your love and your light. And thank you to everybody watching, and thank you to our mods.
Well, I appreciate you giving me your time and your beautiful energy. And thank you again for agreeing to do this with me. And I hope that people see a side of you that they were unaware of, and feel that they've gotten to know you a bit better.
Well, thank you for that.
I know.
Yeah, I was a little nervous to see what was going to happen, but I'm very grateful that we did do this. So thank you again, and we will see you in the workshops. Much love, everyone.
It's times like these you learn to live again. It's times like these you give and give again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these, time and time again. It's times like these you learn to live again. It's times like these you give and give again. It's times like these you